this lecture, we're going to use the Vision script with Python to be able to look at an image and tell what's inside of this image. So if you go inside of Lama, your LM Studio, and you go to the server tab, run the server, and here, as you can see, I'm running the blog server. So if you're running the blog, you already know that you can interact with it via chat, right? And in one of the previous lectures, I did run this example. Let me just edit the example so that you guys can see what's inside of it. We are just basically asking to answer in rhymes, right? So that's what the example is about. And when I run it, what do we get? We just get the answer from the chat. And you can see that it's doing its thing. And here we go, we got the answer. Okay, that's great. That's a chat prompt. But now we want to do Vision. So in order to do Vision, if you go inside of LM Studio, you'll see that one of the examples says Vision here, and it's in Python. So we're going to need to write Python code. And you can copy the code. And then you're going to paste the code inside of a text editor. Here, for example, you can do it inside of, let's say, Visual Studio Code. That's totally free to download. You can go on the web and download Visual Studio Code. It's from Microsoft. But I'm just going to use the command line. So I'm just going to do vim, and I'm going to call this one vision.py. There we go. And I'm going to insert the code for Vision and save that. Now, let's go over the code from Vision. So I'm going to open a new tab, actually. Let me close this one. Closed all. There we go. Don't save, no need. And I'm going to paste that here. All right. And let me just make this a little bigger so that you guys can see it better. All right. And you can see that this script is just loading the frameworks, the OpenAI framework, the Base64 framework, which is an encryption and decryption framework that's used to compress an image or uncompress an image. I mean, it's not really compression, it's more like encoding and decoding an image. And then request, which is to send something via the network. So you send a network call through the network. All right. And you can see it's getting the OpenAI from the local server, which is the server that's running on our machine. It's using an image URL from the internet. And let's take a look at what this image is. So I'm going to copy the image and paste it in the web browser. Here I'm using Safari, so paste this. And you see that it's going to Wikimedia, and it's looking at an image of 3 penguins in the mountains, snowy mountains. All right, so with Vision, it's supposed to, we're going to send this image, and it's going to tell you what's inside of this image. All right, so if I go back to the code, we see that it's creating the response, it's encoding the image of the penguins, and then here the code creates the request and sends the request, and then it prints what's the content coming back from the request, which is the description of the image at this point. Okay, having said that, I already saved that, so I can just remove this. And I'm going to show you something interesting. First, I'm going to show you an error. Why? Because look, I'm using the block Lama 2, and Lama 2 is not a Vision language model. It's a chat language model. So obviously, it's not going to work. So I'm clearing the server logs, and I'm going to go and run this by doing Python 3 vision.py. And check this out. It's running. And what's happening here? It says error, Vision model is not loading. It's not loaded, cannot process the images. So yes, the error is that we are using a Lama 2 chat. So it's a chat model and not a Vision model. So obviously you can clear the log, stop the server, and you're going to look for one that's actually a Vision one. And the ones that are Vision say Vision here. So I'm going to go ahead and get this one, the Miss model that says Vision. And it's loading now. And then once it's finished to load, I'm going to start the server. There we go. So start server. And it says, okay, Vision adapter is loaded. and the image must be base 64 encoded. No problem, that's what the code is doing. So I'm going to clear the chat, and then I'm going to go back in the terminal. I'm going to clear the terminal, and I'm going to run the Python 3 vision.py, and now check this out. It's running here. That might take a while because it's streaming the response. So it's analyzing a whole picture, so it might take a minute or so, but I've done that before. It usually doesn't take more than a minute. So just bear with me here. And there we go. We have the description. It says, a group of 3 penguins stand in the snow. So it's pretty good. It figured out that there was 3 penguins, and it figured out that they were in the snow. So, go ahead as an exercise, look for another image. And by the way, those images have to be on the web. They cannot be on your local machine. There's a way to make them on your local machine and have them base 64 encoded. But for now, let's just use the one from the internet. So feel free to play with it. And here I'm going to look for an image of, let's say, if I go on pexels.com, what I can do is literally just look for an image here. Okay, so this image is pretty straightforward. So I'm going to click here, and I'm going to right click and do inspect. Let me see, maybe I can do it from here. Okay, so the inspect is removed here, accept all cookies. Copy image address, there you go. So I copy the image address, and I can go inside of Visual Studio Code. I'm going to, actually, let me just do it straight from the command line. I go to the terminal, and I do vim, vision.py, and here I'm going to change the URL, the image URL here. So I'm going to comment out this one and add a new one by doing image underscore URL is equal to, and between double quotes, very important, I'm going to paste that here. All right. We don't need all of these details. That should not be necessary. We can just go with that. Okay, now I'm going to save this. And now I'm going to rerun the script, the Vision script. And now let's take a look at what's happening. And as you can see, it's doing the streaming response again. So far, so good. And give it 30 seconds to see if we can get the answer. Bear with me, I know this might take a while, and there we go. Isn't that great? Look, it figured out that it was a white heron, and that it was tall, and it's in a body of water looking towards the camera. So the heron is looking towards the camera, and it has long legs, neck, and beak. Give it an elegant appearance. Yes, in the dark water. Very good. So excellent description. It's doing an amazing job. And guys, all of this is for free, and it's running on your computer completely offline. Isn't that beautiful? All right, keep playing with it.